Apple updates podcast app. SpeedTest.net goes ad-free if you want it to, and optimized for the iPhone 5, and much more in today's edition of iWake. I'm Tim Chaten, and welcome back to another edition of iWake. Today is Friday, March 22nd, 2013. So welcome back to another edition of iWake. First off, I just wanted to mention that some people have noted the sound in the audio version of the show being a little bit softer than they would appreciate, and that would be normal for a show. So rest assured, I know about this issue, and I'm trying some different mic settings today, so hopefully that issue is gone today, but it may not be, and if it's not, I'm aware of it. I am listening to the show, so I know about that stuff, and just something that you encounter when you are doing this on iOS and trying to produce a show that way, and also me without a mixer, that I can run into issues like that. So let's get on to the news for today. First off, Apple has updated their podcast app in a big way. So what have they done? Well, they have done quite a lot. They have added these new custom channels. So they've redesigned this app in a big way. They've got rid of the skeuomorphic little turntable thing. That's now gone. These custom stations allow you to add your favorite podcasts that update automatically with new episodes. You can choose which order to play this in. You can choose, hey, I want to play the newest ones first. It will now sync podcast playlists to your different devices over iCloud. A very cool thing indeed. The now playing screen has been redesigned, much better, more visually appealing, I think. I have updated to this. It's version 1.2. What else has been? They've basically done some bug fixes. This is a huge update. A wonderful update. So those that have been waiting for the podcast app to get good, it's getting better. Not great, but I use it as my main podcasting app, and I think this is a wonderful update. Meanwhile, the SpeedTest app, that's the app that you probably use if you want to test out how fast your internet is. Well, it's got updated for the iPhone 5, and you can pay to get rid of the ads. So the icon got updated. It's a beautiful new update, and for those people that love the SpeedTest, I'm one of them, you can now get rid of it. So get rid of the ads. So this is a very awesome update. As far, I'm trying to figure out what the cost is on the ads to get rid of that. But just overall, a very good update there. And let's move on to the next story on today's show. And next up today is Apple increases your security of your iCloud account by offering two-step verification of your ID. So how does this all work? What is the benefit to you? Well, this is how it works. Two-step verification will require you to verify your identity using one of your devices before you can make changes to your account or make an iTunes or App Store purchase from a new device. You will also get a recovery key for safekeeping, which you can use to access your account if you ever forget your password or lose your device. So once enabled, the new system replaces the standard security questions that are asked before users make a new purchase from a device. Most of the time, that is a credit card question. So a very cool system here. More information is linked to in the show notes on today's podcast. Next up, Eric Schmidt of Google is basically, he made some statements today that are very arrogant and statements that make me not like Google. I'm not a huge fan of Google, but these statements that he made today make me not like Google even more. And so here's what was asked. So he was asked about Google Now coming to iOS. And this is the Q&A. When can I get Google Now on my iPhone? On your iPhone, you'll need to discuss that with Apple. Apple has a policy of approving or disapproving apps that are submitted into its store. And some of the apps we make, they approve, and some of them they don't. They recently did approve Google Maps, thank goodness. And without being too obnoxious, you have excellent vendors of Android choices for you in London from many different suppliers. So he never answered this question of when can I get Google Now on my iPhone. He didn't say we're developing it or not developing it. He just put up a big show about how Apple never proves anything we do. Oh, they approve Google Maps. Oh, it was a rough one. We didn't think they'd do it. When you follow the developer guidelines and when you develop apps that aren't malicious, 99.9% of the time you do get approved. And Eric Schmidt going off on this thing of we're not even going to try because Apple will not approve it is a bit odd and very, very obnoxious to me. And something that I don't like Google for. Next up, so has Apple got a problem with Google Now? That was an ambitious statement. Does Apple have a problem with Google or Google Now? Yes, another bit of Schmidtism that I'm not a fan of. Let me not talk about the specifics. I don't think they're particularly worried about Google Now. So this is kind of crazy. Why the heck is Schmidt being such an idiot, quite frankly? And I don't know. So just something to note. Related to Google is a new Google note-taking app called Google Keep. Google Keep. So Google Keep was showed back about a week ago, and they've announced it officially in their blog post, available for Android 4.0 and up, and it will use Drive to Sync, Google Drive to Sync, but unless you're on Android, it doesn't look like you'll be able to actually edit those notes or do anything with them. So there is more information about Google Keep in the show notes, along with its introductory video. So for those interested, that is something I would definitely encourage you to check out. Next up, Walmart has announced Scan and Go coming to over 200 stores, which doesn't seem like a lot. Scan and Go is this ability to, when you put something in your cart, you can scan that item as you're shopping. So that does one great thing. It lets you know how much money to expect to pay before you get to the checkout line. That's something really good. And you can pay for those items when you get to the cart. It's in over a dozen markets now: Denver, Colorado, Phoenix, Arizona, Omaha, Dallas, and Austin, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Bozeman, Montana, Seattle, Washington, San Jose, California, and Portland, Oregon. So very cool. 200 stores in those markets, and I hope it comes elsewhere because this sounds like a cool thing. I don't shop at Walmart often, but when I do, it's rather cool to have that. Next up, Steve Wozniak's house in Los Gatos is being sold. $4.5 million. If you want to buy this home, it is in the market for those of you with those financial means to do so. Next up, the Steve Jobs movies. There's 3 of them coming out, and the newest one is coming out on April 15th, starring Justin Long as Steve Jobs. From Funny or Die. This is a website releasing it online, I believe, probably for free. It's, I think, an hour and 15 or 20 minutes. They wrote this film in a matter of days, shot it in 5 days, and they did the research from Wikipedia. So this is a very, they're going to be first to market with a Steve Jobs film, and I'm not sure how good it will be, but I think this is going to be a rather entertaining watch. And it is coming April 15th. The biopic Jobs, starring Ashton Kutcher, is delayed because of, quote-unquote, we didn't have time to market it yet. So it's coming out later. We will see when that comes out. No word yet on timetables there. Next up today is the March Madness app. So March Madness has kicked off, and the app this year is rubbish. It's terrible. It's trash. Why is that? It's because of the cable companies. The cable companies are making you sign in to access the games this year. There's no $3.99 option like there was last year. Last year, you could pay $4 and watch every March Madness game streamable on your iOS device. This year, you need to have a cable subscription to enjoy March Madness games. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this if this was always how it was, we are taking a step backwards. We're going back as far as what we're able to do and what we're able to access content-wise. And it makes me not have any interest in March Madness this year. I'm not watching the games now. I didn't even fill out a back bracket because these television companies, these cable companies, are being too greedy. If you can't split $4 across 1 billion people easily enough, then hey, I'm not going to support it, and I'm not even going to fill out a back bracket. So the March Madness app is out, and for those that have subscribed to cable, you can watch it on your iOS device. But for those like me that don't pay cable companies for television, you're out of luck. So with that said, that will do us for today's show. Have a fantastic weekend. I'll be getting an iWake Again episode out to subscribers this weekend as well. iWakePodcast.com for more information and show notes. YouTube.com/TCHATEN for the video version. And iPod Evolution is in the iBook store. Search for iPod Evolution and please purchase it. That's a great way to support me and this podcast as a side effect of that. So with that said, have a great weekend. Now we'll talk to everyone again on Monday. We'll talk to iWake Again subscribers this weekend. Have a good one.